Hey, it's Benji here. I'm going to take a second and talk about tight shoulders and how it will improve your performance if you take a moment and you stretch out your shoulders either after your workout, maybe add these stretches that we're about to do during your yoga practice, or during your mobility training. So do a little mobility workout, get your shoulders nice and warm, and then go through these series of stretches. You're going to find it's going to help you with your performance, with your workouts, and then actually you're going to feel better in everyday life. I have clients that have a hard time with things like pull-ups because maybe they can't hang from the bar because they can't get their shoulders up over their arms up over their head, or even push-ups for some people to get in a plank. They get neck pain because their shoulders are tight and they want to round forward. So this is going to open your shoulders up in all directions. Your arms or your shoulder movement, you have flexion, raising up, you have extension, back, you have abduction, away from the body, adduction, adding to the body, you have external rotation, and then you have internal rotation. And a lot of workouts, there are some exercises that will use multiple movements within that exercise, so the shoulders don't, they need to be open in more than one way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the front of the shoulder with a shoulder roll. So you're going to lay on your stomach. You're going to take one arm out to the side, okay, straight out from the shoulder. You're going to kind of externally rotate a little bit, pull in. You're going to pick up your hips and shift them away. Pick them up and move them away from your arm, and then twist. And then from there, just turn as far as feels comfortable for you. Begin to look over your opposite shoulder. Turn your hips as needed. Then eventually stopping wherever you need to, where you have enough sensation. And for time's sake, of course, I'll do one side. Be sure to repeat on the other side. Noting any differences between the two shoulders, the tighter side you need to help hang longer. And then also make sure that the side that's tighter, you only go that far on your looser side. Try to balance out your shoulders and then inch them both forward as you go. The next thing we're going to do is a kneeling dog. So we have our flexion. So we're going to walk the hands forward. My hips are over my knees. And then from here, if you have a hard time getting your forehead to the floor, you can use a yoga block or some other prop. Otherwise, press the arms straight, take the forehead to the floor. If that feels okay, you can look up and take your chin to the floor. And eventually, kind of loosening up your T-spine a little bit, you can start taking your chest toward the floor. And then the next thing that we will do is another shoulder roll. Get the adduction. So there's a couple of ways. Arm will go straight out. Palm up, or you can go into an internal rotation with palm down, which will be a little more challenging. So either palm up, you can do both, and then palm down. Kind of pull the shoulder open, and then you're going to roll on top of your arm as far as feels comfortable. From there, eventually maybe the shoulder will move toward the elbow. And then, of course, repeat on the other side. The next one, we're going to make the back of the arm slightly different angle and actually be more or less below, through here, below your shoulder. You're going to take your arm, you're going to make a fist, first of all. Keep your wrist straight. And then you'll take your fist, you're going to lock it into the jaw on the same side as the fist, and then you'll take your elbow across the opposite side. And think about taking the elbow up toward the opposite shoulder, pulling your other shoulder down. And then, of course, you're going to lay on that so you have a little support. So you'll come down, lock it in, keep the wrist straight, and, of course, the fist facing out. And just dropping the other shoulder down. on top of the elbow. The next thing that we have, be a little different. Eagle arms, if you practice yoga, one arm will come across, the other arm will come on top, kind of above the elbow there. The bottom arm will come up toward your face, while the other arm comes up and wraps around, okay, from there. If you need to, you can use like a towel, drape a towel if you can't get all the way with the hands. Pull the shoulders down and lift the elbows up. Now, if this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, you come forward and kind of brace yourself on the floor and then just set your hips back. And of course, arms crossed, adduction, okay? Up in flexion as well, and then they externally rotate a little bit. So there's multiple things going on in that stretch. And then the next thing, get the front of the shoulders, again, a little more. Turn the hands out. From here, pick up your butt, shift your butt forward towards your heels. And think about this, if you've ever skinned the cat on a pull-up bar or the Olympic rings, this will be similar to that. Then of course, if your shoulder's really open, perhaps your back will end up completely on the floor. If you can do that, send a YouTube video. I'd like to see it, it's awesome. I'm not there yet. And then the next variation, turn the hands forward. Now, this will be more intense on the wrists, and you may not go as far, but it's also going to change how you feel in your shoulders as well, because now we went from an external rotation to an internal rotation. And shift forward. Of course, just pressing the arms as straight as you can. Good. And then, last thing we have is we'll get our rotator cuff in the back of our arm again. This is the most challenging for me. Notice my right arm is typically tighter than my left. I'll show you on my left. I hope to even out my right sometime. You're going to take your left hand, you're going to place it on the back, kind of behind the rib cage. And from there, you want to make sure you pull your shoulder up and back, and take your elbow and pull it up toward the other shoulder. So that's kind of the direction that it's moving. You can either brace with the other hand, okay? And if this is enough, this is good. You can brace it in your legs, sitting here, or you can come up into low squat, which kind of open up your hips a little bit as well, and hang out there. Drop it down. And of course, comparing each side as you do them. This is something you can do at the same time as well. As your shoulders get really open in this direction, you can actually do both elbows. So hopefully this series of stretches, if you do them regularly, you'll notice your shoulders will open, and the benefit will not only be that your shoulders will open up, but you'll notice that your chest, back, neck, and even your T-spine a little bit, you'll get a little more mobility in there, and you're going to actually feel better overall in your upper body. So give it a try, and let me know how it feels. Drop me a comment here and there, and then hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.